This हम आपके साथ जुड़ते हैं on the show 4 to 5 p.m. Fridays 6 to 7 और Saturdays 12 to 1 के बीच आप हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं. And like I'd mentioned earlier in the show, today we have actually, Cameron Singh, who's going to be, actually he is on my telephone line right now. And, he's into navigation and discovery. And of course, navigation or discovery के बारे में अगर बात करें तो, हवाई जहाज, plane, ये सब कुछ, दिमाग में आता है, right? So he's going to be talking about that, and of course he has written a book about navigation and discovery. So we'll be, talking with him. Of course, उन्हीं के मुंह से हम सुनेंगे कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं. एक speaker भी है, वो कैसे लोगों को inspire वगैरह कर रहे हैं. So Cameron, a very warm welcome to you onto the Drive Time Show, चलते चलते, and नमस्कार आपको.
Thank you so much, Den, for having me on the show, and hello to all your listeners.
Thank you so much, man. I mean, of course, we just talked, last week, and you have written this book, जो आप लोगों को हमारे जितने भी listeners हैं आप उनके साथ share वगैरह करना चाहते हैं, and you are actually from the Bay Area, but for now you are living outside of Bay Area, right?
Yeah, so I grew up in San Bruno.
Oh, okay.
And now I live in Denver.
You are in Denver, so. Talk a little bit about this book that you have written. What made you actually, want to write this book?
Yeah, so I've had a unique journey throughout my 20s. I'm 30 right now. And so growing up by San Francisco Airport, I pretty much fell in love in aviation and really got the experience to have some senior leadership roles at a very young age. And, of course, that was not an easy journey, nor was it an easy task. And I really wanted to share my story to help and encourage other young people really strive for higher, because, this journey we call life is not an easy journey. And oftentimes it's, difficult to figure out what you want to do in life.
All right. So I know you started very young, and you were in San Bruno, and you were near at this, our San Francisco International Airport. So I guess that must have been one thing that really made you get into something like this. I mean, what you're doing right now.
Exactly. Yeah, growing up by the airport, seeing all the airplanes take off over our house where we grew up in San Bruno, really inspired me to want to really pursue the career in aviation.
Okay, so which is actually, one piece of advice that you'd like to give to a young person, whether they're in school or starting out their first job?
I think one thing that I would say is come with an open mind. Oftentimes, I think I've seen young people pressure themselves into trying to figure out what they want to do in life, try to figure out what they want to do. And I think for me, based on my journey so far, kind of navigating through my 20s, I think what you want to do and like your passion and calling, I think that changes over the years. It changes as you get more life experience. So I think, because I've seen even in today's world, a lot of young people put pressure on themselves. I should become a lawyer, a doctor, or a heart surgeon or something like that. But I feel like coming in with an open mind and leaning on what you're passionate about, because of course in life you want to enjoy what you do. You don't want to dread going to work and day to day dreading on what your career is.
So about you personally, what actually like for you personally, you're such a young person, like 30 years old only. How did you figure out what you wanted to pursue in life?
I don't think I still have figured it out yet.
Okay.
I think it's changed over time. I think in my 20s, I've worked in the aviation industry in various leadership roles and organizations. And my passion right now is leadership training, mentorship, really helping to make impact on young people. And so my interests are changing constantly over time. And but I think the purpose behind this book is to provide encouragement for young people, not to provide those 5 steps for success, to have a successful life, but learn from my story of how I kind of went through my early 20s. I cover in the book my early 20s and also my late teens.
Interesting. अभी तक मैं figure out कर रहा हूँ, लाइफ में क्या कुछ और मेरे को करना है, या फिर how to go about doing some stuff that I really want to do. But I mean, you figuring it out. I mean, like you said, I mean, of course it's changing, like it does. It does. So what is one barrier that you see young people face today when we talk about their path of navigating and discovering through the journey, of course, we call life?
I think one barrier, and I face this myself too, is trying to move too fast. Where they finish school, they go into their first job, and they want to become the CEO tomorrow. And the reality is, you have to start somewhere.
Right.
Because you have to develop yourself. You need some experience. And I think even myself, I saw myself under pressure trying to reach the top as soon as I could. But the reality is you need to have experience, get work experience, learn the industry and field that you're in, learn it. Because in school they can only teach you so much, and have the patience that when the right opportunity comes, it'll come at the right time. Because, one of the things important to me is faith as well. And so I talk a lot about that in the book, how I had to lean on faith during times when I didn't have the patience, where I wanted to move to the next level, but I had to wait for God's timing.
So you're walking through that. Of course, we all, believe, and ईश्वर का जो आशीर्वाद है हमारे ऊपर रहे, and then for the things that we want to do, right? And how important was it that your parents also like kind of supported you into doing this?
Oh yeah, my mom and dad, Nani and Nana, they all really supported me from the start. They all have been really good advocates for me growing up, and even to this day. And sometimes they don't understand, but I help them understand certain things, and they always support me. And that really helped me through my journey too. Even though sometimes I had a crazy idea, like pursuing my PhD, they thought that was crazy, but they still supported me, and they still support me to this day in everything that I want to do, even if it's a crazy idea.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, parents are there for guidance, but you make your decision what you want to do. I mean, कि आप क्या achieve कर सकेंगे अपने life में. So, tell us a little bit about this book, and लोग जो है ये कहाँ से? I mean, like from where they will be able to purchase this book, and at a very young age, like you're almost 30 years old, and you have written this book, Navigation and Discovery. So, why should one जो हमारे लोग सुन रहे हैं, या फिर दुनिया भर के हमारे लोग जो listeners वगैरह हैं यहाँ पे फिजी से, या फिर इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, Mauritius, Canada, from wherever they are, why should they actually get this book?
Yeah, I think it's really learning from a story from a person with an Indian background, because oftentimes I feel like from what I've seen, especially more so in the aviation industry, as a minority, our stories are not necessarily shared, and really showing, that it is possible it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. And so I talk a lot about my challenges, because, my journey is not a perfect journey. I talk a lot about how I went through these trials and tribulations, and where people can learn from it, because, you are not alone. Everyone's going through similar stories, and everyone has their own unique story. So, so this book is called Navigation and Discovery, and it can be purchased on my website, www.cameronsingh.com.
So it's Cameron with C-A-M, right?
Yes.
Cameron. Yeah, we want to just spell it out for our people out there. It is, of course, you could go into CameronSingh.com. Yep, that's Cameron Singh's address. CameronSingh.com. And if you want to purchase the book, of course, Inspiring Navigation and Discovery. And at a very young age, he wrote this book. And really want to thank you for joining here right here on my drive time show, Chalte Chalte. And I hope, जो लोग हमारे इस program को सुन रहे हैं, they will be able to, go purchase the book and support you. And if need be, आपके जो website है, they might be able to, get in touch with you, just to check out what else you are doing. So once again, Cameron, any final thoughts that you want to share with our listeners?
No, thank you so much for having me on the show, Din. And I just wanted to encourage any parents that are listening on this, and you might have a young child at home. Feel free to get this gift to them, because the life of the young generations is not easy in today's world, and just giving them a simple gift, and this is a very quick read as well, can make a difference where someone could learn from, hopefully, a little bit from my story.
All right, Cameron. So once again, thank you so much. And of course, you're most welcome to come back again and, sharing your experiences, right here on the show. And so have a good one, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you.